Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Rune-keeper. We are now at a small camp about halfway between Sheridan's cabin and Candate's camp. And it can be rather nasty because you see these half-orcs running around? They are level 55 signatures, so I certainly don't want to get too close to them. No, I don't have any quests for them. What we have quests for are these guys here. Belts for trade.
Would you do something for me?
I've been tracking wolves and other prey for the greater part of my life. Never have I seen anything like it, and now I hope to never see anything like it ever again. It stood nearly the height of a man, and the shoulder and jaws twice the size of my head. Worse, it was led by orcs. Orcs. I've heard the tales. I've never had the misfortune to see one. Now I have the displeasure of their acquaintance and a terrible light set the facts to show for their misbegotten hunt. I'm asking, not without humility, that you offer some of my assistance to those of us who so recently see our fortunes dashed. There are wolves all throughout these hills. Their pelts will fetch a good amount of coin back in Bree. I would be willing to pay for an upfront sum for your assistance in keeping the livelihood intact. In other words, he's a hunter who doesn't want to go hunting, so he asks us to do it instead.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Dale and Sam are too busy whimpering about losing our traps and our equipment, fools. What we need to do is gather up our equipment and trudge right back to Bree. We've lost traps before. In fact, most times you'll lose several traps when hunting prey. That's worth hunting. We do have little means, but we should have enough to survive. What we do not have is our weaponry. The orcs made off with everything of value. Some things I'm willing to part with. Other items, like my bow, Sam's halberd, and Dale's mace, we cannot go without. The journey homeward is treacherous as well, and knives will likely not see us much through the journey. Very well, she wants their weapons back.
Stay a moment.
We have hoped to be spending a few days in Forsaken Inn, eating some old mugwort stews, but now we are just hoping for strips of dried meats that we have left to last us. That is, unless you would be willing to get us some meat. Right, and we need some wolf meat. And you're going to get back there through level 55. Look, if they can get through level 55 half-orcs, you would think that they should have no trouble with a couple of level 22 wolves, but you never know. Oh yeah. What is the level of the level 22 quests? That means I am most definitely turning on XP. Alright, and now let's take care of these wolves. Unfortunately, this is the direction where we don't have any level 55s running around. It's only on that one road, and it's rather difficult to get here from the Chetwood and Bree without going through here. Now you can get here through the Midgewater. But Bree seems to put you right, but from the lake in North Bree, the only path I know of goes right through all those orcs. And the horse path takes you through the orcs. What I do is I take the horse path and get off right when I reach their camp. And and everything works fine. Just don't get off too early. Alright, well, I got the halberd back. That's good. I must have seen a halberd sticking out of his weaponry or something. Obviously, it must not have been his bow. Don't tell me how I tell difference between... Well, I guess I could tell difference between an orc bow and a Freelander bow. Alright. 6. Let's see if the last weapon drops quickly. Usually the mace drops fairly quick. I remember one time through here where it took me some 12 orcs to get that bow. Alright, 3 orcs, 3 weapons. That's not a bad average. I've actually had cases where the first orc drops 2 of them and the second one drops 3, which is even faster. But 1 weapon each is definitely a good record. No, the bats don't drop anything. Let's see. I think this is where I could go find the wolves. Ah, more this way. And I am at 7 and 7, so they seem to be dropping meat and fur evenly so far. Not that I consider wolf meat to be all that appetizing, but then I suppose it's better than nothing. Now, one more item. That's it. That's it for wolves, right? Yes, that's it. Yay. So that's a nice quick area to get through. And oh, it's this way. I guess that wolf doesn't like... Oh no, he's chasing me. Very well. You want a bag of amber? Here's something from amber. Yes. Very well. I'm sure he didn't appreciate that too much. Alright, now, let's turn these things in. Well, first let's take care of the furs.
What can I do for you?
You're truly a generous hero. We thought our lives lost, then our livelihoods. Now we have a small bit of hope that we can recover. We are in your debt. Oh, by the way, do you know a Candaith where I can find his camp?
Could I speak with you a moment?
Candaith? The name doesn't even seem familiar to me. I know this. We have hunted in the shadow of Weathertop and have seen signs of a camp. It is possible that the man you seek camps there. The camp can be found on the western base of Weathertop. Yuki?
What can I do for you?
These are fine cuts indeed. I shall have them cured enough meat for the trip to Bree and back from this to this accursed land. Now why you'd want to come back here, I don't know. Thank you.
Might I take a moment of your time?
This may seem a strange request, but it is one that I feel necessary. There is an inn at the border of the Midgewater Marsh in the Lowlands, the Forsaken Inn. It is operated by a man named Anlaf. He is holding rooms for us that are meant to be stayed for a few days before returning to Bree. With all that has happened, it is clear that we are not making the journey south over the hills to visit the inn. Could you please make your way there and let the innkeeper know that we will not be coming? Yes, alright. And it'll be a while before we get there.
How can I be of service?
There will certainly... These will certainly help. Now, if I can only get these two to stop licking their wounds, gather their composure, and head back to Bree, I might sleep in a real bed before a few nights. Alright. And that completes the area. Very small hub, as long as you don't do something like get too close to those guys. Just one of those things they occasionally throw in LOTRO, the 55 guys I mean, in order to make sure that you understand that the world is not exactly safe to travel through. Now, I might as well kill a couple of wolves on the way. Mainly to help with my pelts for my tailoring. Let's see, well, I guess I'll have to go this way. I guess I could also go over land and really get some wolves that way. But I usually wind up getting lost if I try to do all that. It's hard to get lost when you're following a river. And while I'm swimming, deed bestowed. Tales of the Lonely Road. Some silver scraps. So I'm heading for that little patch of land right there. And that one, let's see, anything else here I can use? Nope. Nope, 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 nope. And this is level 22. This is level 22. Yeah, so Candace's area is level 22. Then the next area after that is level 23. Alright. Good track XP wise. Now, if I were tracking things about a month later, I might be wondering about what to do with the North Downs, but it's still probably another month before the revamp hits for that. So I won't be worrying about the North Downs in this series. I will have to do something about the North Downs, so I'll have to prep someone to run whatever the new level is for the North Downs. Something to think about. Hello, are you Candace by any chance?
What do you need?
Hunters out of Bree knew my whereabouts. I shall need to be more cautious and redouble my efforts to hide my supplies in the future. Now what brings you to the foot of Weathertop? Surely you did not realize that there was a lone ranger in the shadows of Amonsul that needed your aid. Alright. I'll try to avoid the obvious joke to that one.
How can I be of service?
Radagast the Brown. I have not seen him, and know not his passing, but there is a cold and shadow that came from this lands of late. Alright.
What can I do for you?
Saradin's words comes late to the Lone Lands. If Radagast the Brown passed into these lands, then perhaps hope is not lost. I have returned only recently from a journey in lands far to the east, lands held firmly in the grip of evil. When I returned from my journey, I learned to my dismay that evil does not stir in the east alone. Goblins now roam in the south, while their larger and more ferocious commons among the orcs spread through the weather hills like a festering plague. I must find the main body of the orcs. If you will assist me in driving back the enemy of these hills, I will begin with the search for Radagast the Brown. How about that? Okay.
Greetings.
These lands have become much darker in recent days. Since my time wandering in the eastern stretches of the lowlands, a dark shadow has flocked down from the sky. Now they patrol the western lands as well as the east in search of something for their unseen masters. I speak of the Kraban. These vile creatures with the gift for intelligence greater than they should possess. We must do something that will thwart their efforts. Kill these vile birds and collect their eyes. It is the only way to ensure that they cannot return the information that they have gathered to their masters. Right. That's it. Killing them is not enough. No, you must gather their eyes too to make sure that they can't see after they're dead. And of course, you will unlock a deed to kill about, what, 50 billion of these things? Well, 80 plus probably 160 after that. So, 240. Up for killing 240 birds? I didn't think so. No, I'm not gonna finish these all here. I'm gonna turn around for the orcs. And worry about those first. But take out any birds I see along the way, of course. And here is Orc Camp 1. And they give us, we need 6 range and 8 melee. Now originally you had to get specific type ones. You had to get pillagers and the type I just killed there. While the camps tended to have, well, inside the camps there tended to be other types, so it used to be a tougher one. Now you can go into camp and get credit for the ones inside the camps. Alright. Now let's see. Range ones that tend to be tougher. You get 20 of the melee types. And those are the ones who usually force you to get inside of the camp. Oh, where is this guy? Ah, there he is. Really? Oh, I don't see anything. Oh, you see anything? What's that noise? Must be a thunderstorm coming. Alright, that's the ranged ones. I think that's the first time I ever finished the ranged ones before the melee ones. Well, he'll be in the way anyway, so. Anyway, killing extra orcs never hurts in this land, since you know there's a deed associated with it, even if I didn't open it up yet. Or when I say open it up, I mean open up the panel thing, since I'm sure that's what that's there to inform me of, that I only need to kill 80 plus 2 plus 164 orcs. That's 7. And that's 8. Now you usually don't worry about killing all the birds at this point. It doesn't hurt, but if I don't get them all in this round, I have a chance of getting the rest of them in the next round, since that's a singular quest, while the other two have follow-ups. Alright. And now back to Candace. And that's where we will end today's episode. So we'll be back next time where we'll turn in these quests and work on the current storyline in Pineleaf Plays the Rune-keeper.